All right, let's dive into something that affects every single one of us, personal power. We're going to be talking about the unspoken rules, the hidden mechanics that are actually running the show in our lives, whether we know it or not.
So let me just start with a question. What if that feeling of being stuck, that sense that you're constantly fighting against yourself, what if it has nothing to do with a lack of willpower? What if the real game is being played on a field you can't even see?
Okay, so our first big idea here is going to challenge something we all hold pretty dear. It's this myth that we're in complete conscious control of everything we do. Turns out, a lot of the time, you're not really the one behind the wheel.
Yeah, we all love to think we're these logical, rational beings, right? Carefully making decisions. But the reality is, well, it's a lot messier and, frankly, more interesting. Most of our lives are run by a kind of autopilot, this unseen programming that's dictating our reactions, our habits, and ultimately where we end up.
And this isn't some new idea. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung nailed it. He called this force the unconscious. Think of it as this deep well of all our memories, our desires, our fears. And his point was simple. If we don't shine a light down there and see what's going on, it will run our lives. And we'll just shrug and call it fate.
And there's a really good biological reason for this autopilot mode. Our brains didn't evolve for us to hit our quarterly goals, they evolved for survival. It's a principle called cognitive ease. It just means our brain is hardwired to pick the easy path, the one with the instant reward, like, scrolling on your phone, instead of the hard thing that pays off way down the line. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's just a feature designed for a totally different world.
And so this unseen programming, it shows up in our lives as what you could call attitude diseases. And these aren't just moods, they're automatic habits that run in the background. Things like indifference, that shoulder shrug that just lets you drift. Or indecision, that mental paralysis where you're so scared of choosing wrong that you choose nothing at all. And then there's worry, a really devastating habit that just sucks your mental and emotional energy dry.
Okay, so for our second big idea, let's build on that. We're going to tear down another huge myth. This idea that real power is about being the loudest person in the room, the one who always has a comeback. The philosopher Nietzsche understood this so well. Always reacting, always justifying, always defending yourself. That's not a sign of strength. It's actually a sign that you're being controlled by outside forces. The truly powerful person isn't the one who bites at every little hook. It's the one who observes, waits, and chooses their moment with intention.
Think about it. When you're in a tense situation and you choose not to react, you completely flip the power dynamic. Your silence creates this void. It forces the other person to confront their own words, their own insecurities. Without your reaction to feed off of, they often get thrown off balance and end up showing their hand.
And this goes right back to that idea of inner energy. Every emotional reaction, every time you get sucked into a pointless argument or feel the need to defend yourself from some petty jab, that's a withdrawal from your limited account of mental resources. Silence is strategic conservation. You're refusing to waste your power on things that just don't matter.
So really, strategic silence isn't an absence of anything. It's a profound presence. It's the sound of self-mastery. It's a signal to yourself and to the world that you're no longer a puppet of your impulses or other people's provocations. You are in command of your inner world, and that, right there, is a power no one can ever take from you.
This brings us to our third section, and this is where things get really practical. If willpower is kind of an illusion and our brains are wired for the easy path, then how does anyone ever get anything meaningful done? Well, the answer isn't about trying harder, it's about designing smarter.
This quote from James Clear is, and I mean this, a total game changer. We think our big goals define our future, but they don't. Our daily habits do, our systems do. If your environment is set up to work against you, all the motivation in the world is not going to save you. You'll just fall back to whatever is easiest.
So how do we build better systems? James Clear gives us this brilliant, simple framework. To build a good habit, you basically engineer it into your life. You want to work out more? Lay your gym clothes out the night before. That's making it obvious. You want to read more? Only let yourself have your morning coffee while you read. That's making it attractive. Starting a new project? Just commit to 2 minutes. That's making it easy. And when you finish, put a big X on your calendar. That's making it satisfying. See, it's discipline by design, not by brute force.
All right, for our fourth big idea, let's talk about the nature of strength itself. We're often sold this picture of strength as being this stoic, untouchable warrior, right? No emotions. But real, lasting power? It comes from somewhere else entirely. I want you to really think about this for a second. When someone says something harsh or you face a rejection, that event doesn't have any inherent power over you. It only hurts because it pokes a pre-existing wound inside of you, a fear of not being good enough, maybe a past trauma. The real source of the pain isn't out there. It's in here.
And this is where another one of Jung's powerful ideas comes in: individuation. True strength isn't about building bigger walls to hide your wounds. It's about having the incredible courage to turn around and face them. It's about integrating your shadow, all those parts of yourself you've pushed away. Because when you can embrace all of who you are, the good and the bad, no one can use your insecurities against you anymore. You've already accepted them.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. Understanding these hidden rules is one thing, but real power, the kind you can feel, comes from taking all this knowledge and reclaiming your own agency. It comes from taking intentional action. This right here is one of the biggest traps we fall into. We let our past failures define what we think is possible today. Look, just because you've been stuck, or broke, or unhappy doesn't mean that's who you are. Every single moment is a fresh start. Your current circumstances aren't proof of your limits. They are just the starting line for your next move.
And one of the most powerful actions you can possibly take is mastering the art of asking. It sounds so simple, but it's incredibly profound. First, you actually have to ask. That kicks the whole process off. Second, you have to get crystal clear on what you want. A fuzzy goal gets you fuzzy results. And finally, you have to believe with the kind of faith a kid has, without all that cynicism and doubt that cripples so many of us as adults.
So I'm just going to ask you directly, why not you? You have the ability to learn, to change, to design a new system for your life. Why shouldn't you be the one to become healthy and powerful and successful?
And the only follow-up question that really matters is this one: why not now? There's never a perfect time. The best time to take that idea, that dream, that desire for change, and actually do something about it is right now.
Because in the end, your life isn't just something that happens to you. It's a collection of systems, habits, and beliefs. And the best part? You have the power to be the architect of it all. So the real question, the one I want to leave you with, is this: what are you designing today?